In Lorraine Kelly's defense, aren't we all really playing versions of ourselves at work? Editors note the opinions in this article are the authors, as published by our content partner, and do not represent the views of MSN or Microsoft. With our country plunging ever deeper into crisis, and politicians and pundits alike genuinely clueless as to what happens next with Brexit, it's quite hard for something outside of Westminster to win any prizes for being the maddest thing in the news each day. Lord praise Lorraine Kelly, then. For the news, the TV presenter has won a £1.2 million legal battle with the taxman by, in part, successfully arguing that rather than being Lorraine Kelly on her ITV show, she instead appears as some dramatiste version of Lorraine Kelly, thus classifying her as a theatrical artist and making her agent fees tax deductible. We did not accept that Ms. Kelly simply appeared as herself, a tribunal judge decided on Monday. We were satisfied. Kelly's bizarre case, as many things do, first reminded me of professional wrestling. In WWE, the trick to wrestling, and I guess TV presenting, is in making it all seem as real as possible, and Lorraine's basically doing the same thing as those guys every time she interviews a celeb about their deeply felt ghost-written autobiography. She quite possibly. To really get to the point though, the core reason I have plenty of sympathy with Kelly's claim she is not her pure self on her show is that, if we are honest with ourselves, do we not all play a certain version of ourselves at work? Don't we all contribute? There's even a line in the judgment that says Kelly may not like the guest she interviews, she may not like the food she eats, she may not like the film she viewed, but that is where the performance lies, and does that not just sound like every day in the office? You may not like Susan in reception, may not be able to stand your desk mate's constant anchorman quotes "come on buddy, it's 2019, get a new reference point," or may have a deep personal issue with your clients' plans to synergize your market offering to better leverage your existing portfolio while maximizing growth potential in Q3, but the commonly accepted rules of society mean you aren't going to blank Susan, you aren't going to tell your desk mate to never speak again, and you aren't going to tell your client you'd like to fire them directly into the burning sun. We all come to work with our own things going on. We all have our own, and just the same, I know there will be teachers out there who don't really enjoy public speaking but love helping kids learn, graphic designers sketching buildings on the way to work because they won't give up their architect dreams, and migrant workers toiling away in thankless employment to give themselves a chance at a better life. Dress for the job you. And so I have a great amount of respect for Lorraine's ability to present herself each and every day as amiable and kind and truly here for her guests. In the end,
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.